Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. Yeah. Today we're going to present to you our happening called Photo Death, which is also known as The Circus by Claes Oldenburg. Happenings were once described as a new generation of artists who sought to create work that merged artistic practice with the mundane events of everyday life. Happenings first emerged in the late 50s, moving into the early 60s, and initially started in America, but soon moved over to Europe. Some examples of artists involved in happenings were John Cage, William Burroughs, Yves Klein, and of course, Claes Oldenburg. You may have noticed that some of our presentation is going to be filmed. We decided to do this after reading a quote from John Cage. He said, "I would not present things from the past, but I would approach them as materials available to something else, which we were going to do now." So, as well as performing some live, we decided to bring some of the presentation into the technological era of today. I will now pass you on to Scott, who will continue onto the subject of what are happenings.
Claes Oldenburg was born in 1929 in Stockholm, Sweden, and his family moved to Chicago in 1936. Claes Oldenburg graduated from the Latin School in Chicago in 1946 and then enrolled at Yale University, receiving a BA degree in 1950. While at Yale, his studies focused on literature and art. In 1950, Oldenburg returned to Chicago, where he remained until 1956. He worked as an apprentice reporter at the City News Bureau, and from 1952 to 1954 took classes in painting, figure drawing, and anatomy at the prestige Art Institute of Chicago. In 1956, Oldenburg moved to New York City and became an active member of the city's thriving young artistic community. For a time, he worked as an assistant in the Cooper Union Museum's library, taking advantage of the opportunity to teach himself more about the history of art. His early years in New York were shaped by his contact with other artists struggling to move beyond the confines of abstract expressionism, including Red Grooms, Alan Capthro, Robert Whitman, Lucas Samaras, George Siegel, and Jim Dine. All were interested in the arts as experiences and in pushing to limits. The question, what is art? The beginning to stage happenings, based in part of the European BA ethos. In 1959, he had his first public one-man show in New York and exhibited of drawings and sculptures at the Johnson Gallery. In 1962, Oldenburg's work was included in the New Realists exhibition, which defined the pop art movement.